Pade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Gandhara Mosure Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabana Sude Devi Pranamami Haripur Pancha Kalpadare Vesha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Aditana Pavani Vya Vaishnavi Namo Namah Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Budhare Shubhade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidinam Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prajayane Nirvishesha Shunyamadi Pashathireshware Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone. Okay, so we finished 24 last week. So we'll do 25. So 24 and 25 is connected in the sense method to attain the perfectional stage or yoga ruda stage. So 24 we had a breakout room. Okay. Then 25 it says Sane Saner Upharame Buddhya Dhudi Vigitaya Atma Samstamman Krutva Nakinchit Apichintaye. Gradually, step by step, one should become situated in trance by means of intelligence sustained by full conviction, and thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else. So here it is said that patience is required, determination. We saw the sparrow story. Manasi, you know the sparrow story? Who knows?
Yes, Mataji, I know.
Yeah, just tell.
Yes, Mataji. Once there was a sparrow. She had new eggs. She had given birth to new eggs. So she came to the shore of the ocean, and then the ocean's wave came and sucked all the eggs inside the ocean. And the sparrow was very sad, and the sparrow, she was like so determined. She said that if you will not return my eggs, I will drink up the whole ocean. So the ocean still did not give her the eggs back. Then the small sparrow, she started to drink little water and gulp it inside her tummy. And then Garuda, the vehicle of Lord Vishnu, he saw all of this, and he was so pleased with her, the sparrow. She was so determined, so that's why he came there and said to the sparrow what happened. She told that the ocean took my eggs away, and that's why I'm drinking up the whole ocean so that I can get my eggs back. So the Garuda was so happy. He said to the ocean in anger that if you will not return the sparrow's eggs, then I will drink up the whole ocean. Then the ocean was so scared, he returned the eggs at once. So we should be determined, and the Lord will always help us. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Good. So that's the story of determination. God will help those who help themselves. Okay. Today is Tuesday, no? Yeah. So Ekambar Rao Prabhu, it's Dashavatar class is tomorrow. Sadachar is tomorrow. Okay. This is Bhakti Shastri class. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Wednesday we have class. Day after tomorrow is Ram Navami. Ram Navami we won't have class. Thursday. Okay, so that's about determination. How determined we should be. Utsaha, Nishya, Dhairya, Tattat, Karma, Pravartana, Sangatyaga, Sarvavritti, Shadbir, Bhakti, Prasiddhi. These 6 things which help us to grow in Bhakti. Nectar of Instruction, verse 3 says that we should have so much determination, like how the sparrow had. And then Krishna will send his representative, Guru, to help us. Okay, so it should be without deviation, and faith should be there, and it should control the mind. Give up all material desires by mental concoction, and intelligence should be sustained by full conviction. Our mind should be fixed on oneself, and step by step we try to achieve success. So we cannot succeed without blessings. Still, we have to show our sincerity by making determined effort. The purport Prabhupada mentions about Upadeshamrita. This is the verse I was taking. So, Utsaha Nishya Dhairya. So, when you do Nectar of Instruction, you need to memorize this verse. Very important verse. It says you should have a lot of patience, determination, confidence, and confidence and patience in doing devotional service. Then what will happen? Ulsa means enthusiasm. Should have enthusiasm, confidence, patience, and determinations. Right? Then only we can advance in devotional service. And Sangatya, we should not associate with non-devotees, and Sadovriti, follow the footsteps of great devotees. Then we can advance in Bhakti. Similarly, practice of yoga, especially Bhakti yoga and Krishna consciousness, may appear very difficult, but if one follow the principles with great determination, then Krishna will help. God help those who help themselves. Right? So Krishna will definitely see the endeavor. We cannot succeed without blessings. Still, we have to show our sincerity by making a determined effort. So by proper conviction and intelligence, one should gradually cease sense activities. This is called pratyahara. And then we should go for the samadhi. Samadhi in sense, fixing the mind on the Lord. So one can come to that stage by conviction, meditation, and cessation of senses. So in Krishna consciousness, directly fulfill the criteria of samadhi, because the Krishna conscious person is always thinking about the Lord. So it doesn't matter as long as the material body exists. One should not think about sense gratification. One should think about no pleasure other than to please the Supreme Self. This is directly practicing Krishna consciousness. Okay. Rishikena Rishikesha Seva. And how is the mind? Mind is very flickery. Yato yato nischalati manaschanchalamasstiram tatasto tatastato niyamyadyat atmani evam vasam nayet. From wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must suddenly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the cells. So whenever the mind goes somewhere, we have to bring it back. That is, so Goswami means somebody who could control the senses, and Godasa means who's controlled by the senses. So Goswami means somebody who controls the mind and senses. Goswami. Go is senses, Swami is master. No? So to become Goswamis, you know the Shad Goswamis. And there is transcendental sense of happiness. The senses are engaged in the service of Rishikesha, right? So when the senses are involved in the service of Krishna, then there is real happiness. Serving Krishna with purified senses is called Krishna consciousness. So there are two things will happen when we serve Krishna. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevana Bhakti Richare. What will happen is Sarva Upadi Vinirbhaktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevana Bhakti Richare. Sarva Upadi Vinirbhaktam. All the upadis or material designations goes away, and Tatparatvena Nirmalam, we get purified. So this is the two things which happens during devotional service. Prashantamanasam hi enam yoginam sugamuttamam upaiti shanta rajasam brahma bhutam akalmasham. The yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. He is beyond the mode of passion. He realizes his qualitative identity with the Supreme, and thus he is freed from all reaction to the past and his deeds. So the Brahma Buddha state, that is a state where is free from material contamination and is situated in transcendental service. There is a sloka called Brahma Bhuta Prasannatman Shochati Nakangshati Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Matbhaktim Labate Param. So that means Prasantatma means he's very peaceful and he doesn't hanger anything. Nashochati Nakangshati. Because he knows everything belongs to Krishna. Right? Why should he hanger? Why should I lament for anything? So Sama Sarvesha Buddhishu, he sees everyone equal. Okay, so this is called Brahma Buddha stage. So they attain supreme bliss and they're free from sin. How to become fixed in the quality of Brahman? By fixing our mind at the lotus feet of Krishna. Save Mana Krishna Padara Vidya. And the two benefits of engaging in Krishna services, we become liberated from the modes of passion, and there's freedom from all material contaminations. Get purified. Okay, so that's what it said here. And the 28th sloka says, Yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukham ashnute. Thus, the self-controlled yogi, constantly engaged in yoga practice, becomes free from all material contaminations and achieves the highest stage of perfect happiness in transcendental loving service of the Lord. So there's real happiness now. Today I was hearing a lecture which says, so much we do, so much. Does anyone know the story of Kailash and Narad Muni? No? The story from Bhagavatam? No? About Kailash. Okay, so there's a person called Kailash, and he was completely into sense gratification. And he had children, and he was living in a very nice house. And all material opulences he had. So Narad Muni went, because out of mercy, he went and said, Kailash, it's time to go back to Krishna. I mean, go to Vaikuntha. So why don't you come? Kailash is like, oh, not now, because my children are not settled, they're not married, and I have to do all these things. So again, after a few years, Narad Muni came and asked, now your children are married, at least now you can come back home, back to Godhead. And then Kailash is like, no, my grandchildren are not born, or I have so many things, he says, I have to do that, I have to do this, I have to see my grandchildren, then come. And after a few years, again, Narad Muni came. And then again, he said, I'm retired now, I have so many other plans, I have to do this. And again, Narad Muni went back. And finally, when Narad Muni came, he already died. He died. And again, Narad Muni started inquiring, where did his soul go? Because he was so much attached to that house. He became a dog near that house. This was so attached to that house, no? And finally, he started guarding that house at night. No strangers should come, because that's my family, my house, that's his desire. Whatever we think at the time of death, we attain that. So next Janma, he became a dog, started guarding that house and property. And then again, Narad Muni came. At least now you come. You got a dog life, and now you come. It's like, no, who will take care of the house? I have to protect the house. Now you come after something. Then again, when Narad Muni came, that dog died and he took another Janma, became a snake. And he was still around that house because he's so attached to that house. And then Narad Muni is like, at least now you come. He's like, no, I have to protect my house. And then what happened? The same grandchildren and same children bit him. Started beating him, that snake, and he died. So that means he did so much for the family. And finally, and then Narad Muni is like, at least now you come. No? So this is how so much attachment comes. And then we should know that we should not be so attached. So once you become attached, then what happens? It's difficult to come out of it. So yes, attachment is there for everyone. Prabhupada says only a stone cannot have attachment. But the same attachment you redirect to Krishna and his devotees. Now we are attached. If somebody doesn't have children, at least they have a dog, a cat, so that they want attachment. No, all of us have that propensity to love and be taken care or care someone. And that's there in us. So we need someone. But instead of that, going even to material things, why don't you redirect your love to Krishna and his devotees? Then what happened? Moksha dwaram apavritam. The doors of liberation will open when we have attachment towards Krishna. So we should know our self, our position. And once we know our position, that is, we are part and parcel of the Lord. That's our real position. So self-realization means to know our constitutional position in relationship with the Supreme, that we are part and parcel of the Supreme. Mami Vamsha Jiva Loge Jiva Bhutara Sanadana. Or we are Jivera Sorobhoi Krishna Nitya Das. And what is our real position? To render transcendental loving service to the Lord. So how much of our material things we make, Mrityu Sarva Harasya, death will take everything from us. And then we are just lost. And then what happens? Again, we have to be taken rebirth. So what is Pavarga? Does anyone know? Pa, ma of material life. This material life goes through these stages called Pavarga. Yes, Manasvi? I think we discussed this. No? Pa, ma. Yes, Prafula Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pa is Parishram.
Parishram. Then?
And Fa is the form, Fena.
Parishrama or hard work. So first there is Parishrama or hard work. Then is Fena. Fena is the form that comes out of the mouth. Yes. Then Bha.
Ba is bondage.
Bondage or bandhana. There's always we get tied up because of reactions of the karma. Yes.
Bha is Bhaya.
Bhaya or Bhiti. Yes. There is fear. And then Ma.
Ma is Mrityu or death.
Mrityu or death. Yes, very good. So this is what this material life is about. Right? We work so hard to enjoy, and then there's kind of foam coming in the mouth. In the sense, we sweat and work so hard, and then there's bondage because of karma. There's reactions coming, and there is bhaya or bhiti, fear of death and fear of losing the job and everything of future, and then ma mrityu. So a constitutional position is to render transcendental service to the Lord, and the transcendental contact with the Supreme is called Brahma Samsparsha. 29 to 30, it says, Sarvabhuta Atmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. A true yogi observes in me all beings and also see every being in me. This is called oneness. See everything in Krishna, see Krishna in everything. Indeed, he selfless person sees me, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere. He sees the Lord everywhere. Okay. And 30th sloka also is almost related to that. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. So for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, for him I'm never lost, nor he is lost to me. So that's like a pure devotee. Because Krishna is in our heart as Paramatma, right? He's there everywhere. So we should be able to see Krishna. The Krishna conscious yogi is a perfect seer. He sees Krishna, the Supreme, in everyone's heart as Super Soul and appreciates. That's what, no? Krishna is in everyone's heart as Paramatma. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshar chintishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yandra rudani maraya. Or sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtam. Krishna says he's in our heart as Paramatma. Okay, so Sumi Prabhu, this is called Pavarga. Pavarga means ha ha ba pa ma. This is how material life is. That's Prabhupada just explained that, you know, to make us understand easily. There are two words, Pavarga and Apavarga. Apavarga means moksha. Apavarga is moksha, liberation. But Pavarga is about material life. In the sense, how our material life is for everyone of us. There is parishrama, there's hard work. We put a lot of hard work. You know, some people, they travel like 2-3 hours to reach to the job place. They take daily flights to go to the job. You've seen abroad and all, they take daily flights so much. And in Mumbai and Chennai, the local trains are like full of people. Now, hours together, they travel to reach the workplace. And sometimes you do overtime and for money. Now everything is for money, and then so much like 14 hours, 16 hours of job. So much of parishrama we do. This is how material life is. And then as we do parishrama, what happens? You've seen like animals have foams coming. The sense we work so hard that our body is like kind of exhausted because of that fena comes. And then as we keep working for that institution or whatever place we are working, there is bondage, no bandhana. There is some attachment to that place. And whatever karma we do, there is reactions coming. Punya or papa. So there is bandhan or bondage. And then later on, there is bhaya or bhiti. There is like, oh, will I lose my job? Will I get salary this month? Or what is going to happen? Will I get promotion? So many bhaya keeps coming because you're doing so much hard work. Will the boss be satisfied? So many bhaya or bhiti. And as you keep doing all these things, then mrityu will come. Ma. So it's just to understand how tough material life is. And the opposite of this is apavarga, where there is all these things are not there. No? Apavarga, that's like pure devotional service, akarma. That's just, Prabhupada just compares how the material life is. The supreme neutrality of the Lord is neutral to everyone. The Lord is his Paramatma feature in everyone's heart, even for a dog or a Brahmana. Vidya Vinay Sambhanye Brahmane Kavi Hastini Shuni Cheva Swapakicha Pandita Samadarshana. Pandits is everyone equal. And same Lord is present in the heart of both the believer and the non-believer. Even the atheists have the Lord in their heart, but they don't realize it. Like the musk deer, no, it just keeps smelling where that nice smell is coming. It's inside itself, but they don't know. So analogy to explain the neutrality is, as a mother is neutral to all kind of children, the supreme father or mother is also neutral. Lord is eternally transcendental and not materially affected by his presence in the heart of dog or Brahmana. So why the Lord himself has to come to protect his devotees? Krishna can send some agent, his holy name can save, or Krishna can send some avatars like Narasimhadev. Now, why Krishna personally had to come? Kanjan Mataji? Why he has to come personally?
Mataji, it is said that Lord wants to give his association to the devotees, and he wants to like reciprocate with devotees personally. So he come personally to protect the devotees.
Yeah, that is right. That Krishna comes to give pleasure to his devotees and to associate, yes, to do his pastimes. So you want to personally take care of them. And Hemu Mataji says, because the love of devotees, he reciprocates personally good. Yeah, that's the right answer. Like, because of that love, Krishna, he reciprocates, right? So, because Krishna says, Matpaktya Puja Adhikam, my devotees are to be worshipped more than me. No, Krishna says that. Matpaktya Puja Adhikam. So once there was a story where there is Akbar and Birbal. There was a conversation. So Akbar is asking, why the Lord has to come personally to protect his devotees? Why? You say Krishna is not partial, but then Why is partial to devotees? So what did Birbal do? Akbar's son was playing from there. They were in the first floor, and below there was a swimming pool. So Birbal went and pushed Akbar's son onto the swimming pool. So the son fell down, and not even a second over, like Akbar didn't even think of anything. He just jumped into the swimming pool. Akbar, the king, he jumped and he saved the son. The son was all right. And Akbar is like started chastising Birbal. What did you do? Why did you push my son? And he's like, before that, I want to ask one question. Why did you ask me or some other servants to rescue the son? I would have jumped. There's so many ministers. Why you, king, only jumped? He's like, he's my son. He's like, similarly, devotees are Krishna's sons. All are Krishna's sons, Aham Bija Pratapita, but devotees are special sons, or in the sense, own sons of the Lord. Like you can like the neighboring children, but you love your own children. No, the love between the real parents and children is more than a surrogate or an adopted son. That's different, right? The blood relationship is very strong. So it's like, see, the devotees always call upon Lord, always depend on the Lord. So it's like children, right? Yeah, and as devotees are very dear to him. There's a nice example to say that, oh, even though Krishna is neutral to all, he's specially inclined to his devotees. Samoham sarva bhudeshu name dveshinastina priya ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mai te teshu chapiham. Krishna says, if you devoted to me, then I become close to you, right? Yeah, devotees suffer a lot. That is also true. Why? Why does devotees suffer so much? If Krishna likes his devotees more, why Krishna is letting his devotees suffer more? Who knows? Yeah, Lakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. This is because he wants his devotees to be surrendered to him and totally have full faith in him. That is why devotees suffer a lot.
Okay. Kanchan Mataji.
Mataji, suffering brings devotee more close to the Lord, and also Lord wants that all the bad karma will be gone. Like he wants his devotees to get rid of the bad karma very fast, so that he can come, or he or she, the devotees can come close to the Lord more faster. So it's the process of.
Yeah. Okay. So that many have put in the chat also. Good. Yeah. So one is past karma. Definitely karma is binding all of us. So that's one thing. And instead of taking like 100 janmas and suffer, Krishna wants to take the devotees back home, back to Godhead soon. Might be in 1 janma, 2 janma, 3 janma. So like you have like bank balance of your sin. Now it has to get over. No. Yes. We are supposed to suffer so much. Krishna makes it suffer so much. But we are supposed to suffer in 100 janmas. Since the devotee Krishna wants us to go back home, back to Godhead very soon, all that piled sinful activities should be suffered in few janmas. So it should be distributed in 100 janmas, then it become very light. It might be 1 in 1 janma, 1 in 1 janma. But instead, like 2-3 janmas, the devotee is going back to Godhead. So all the reactions are still lying as it is. It has to be suffered in this janma, small. So that we can speeden up our process to go back, right? To bring us to his world. Yes. So all of you are right, that to go back to Krishna. So Krishna wants, and okay, that's about past karma and everything. What about Prahlad Maharaj and the Pandavas? They're all eternal associates of the Lord. What about them? Prahlad is not suffering his karma. Prahlad is Nitya Siddha. Arjuna is Vishaka Saki. He didn't come because of karma. Yes, Kanjan Mataji?
Mataji, firstly, Lord is performing a Leela. In Leela, he give example, he set example to the others, like we people, like Arjuna was given this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita just due to us, we people. And secondly, he want to glorify all his devotees more than him, and always Krishna wants that his devotees is glorified more than him, because he feel pleasure in that. So
yes. So that's the answer, that Krishna is setting us an example, right? Example. See, Prahlad had so much sufferings, but he never gave up chanting. He was always chanting the Lord's holy name. Pandavas had so many sufferings. Did they ever blame Krishna? Krishna, why did this happen? In fact, what did Kunti Maharani pray? Vivata Shantu Tatshashwa Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru Bhavadar Darshanam Yetsyat Apunar Bhavadarshanam. Oh Krishna, let miseries keep coming, but I just want your darshan life after life. No, Bhavadar Darshanam Yetsyat Apunar Bhavadarshanam. So only she can pray like that, Kunti Maharani. But then this is not karma coming back for them. Krishna is setting a right example for all of us to learn from them how Krishna is proving how great his devotees are. No, so that's one thing. And Krishna want to have pastime. His mother said it's a pastime. Okay. So yes, that's why devotees suffer. And even while suffering, a devotee understand that's his past karma coming. And I'm supposed to suffer so much. Krishna made it this much. I'm supposed to get hit in the eyes. Krishna made it hit in the eyebrows. No, so many devotees had an accident, but somehow they escaped. That's all Krishna's mercy. And Krishna decreased the suffering. And even during suffering, if he goes on doing devotional service, he becomes the right candidate to go back to Godhead. Tattena kampam susamikshamanam bunjana evatma kritam vipakam ritva vapupir pitata namaste jivere muktipati sadayapat dayapat. He becomes the fit candidate to go back to Godhead. Okay. Yes, Rajeta Mataji.
Mataji, few years, well, 2 years back, there was a devotee of the Lord who was killed by the Bangladeshi Muslims really badly, and they broke the ISKCON temple in Bangladesh. So, what would you comment on that? Because he was killed.
I have no comments on it. Mataji. Let's don't go out of topic. I'm not a person to comment such things. Okay, so we'll just continue. There's a distinction between individual soul and super soul, is that individual soul is situated in the individual heart and he's not present in all the heart, like the sun. No, sun is there in everyone's, it is shining on everyone, like the super soul. The super soul is shining, it's there in everyone. Even when we become a worm in the stool, still Paramatma comes there. So merciful Krishna is. And the example given is the king. King will know about everyone's patch of land, but we know only about our land. Now we know about our property, but then the government or Krishna knows about everyone's property. So super soul knows about everyone, and yogi sees equally. He sees all living entities, although in different situations, according to the results of the fruity work in all circumstances, and remain as the servant of God. Okay, he still remains as a servant. That's what Srila Prabhupada used to say. When someone asked, "Are you God?" He says, "No, I'm servant of God." So in material energy, that's external energy of Krishna, one serves the material senses. In spiritual or internal energy of Krishna, one serves the Supreme Lord directly. So what is the benefit of having such vision? One never loses sight of the Supreme Lord and never falls from the path of yoga. So Yoma Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvam Chamai Pashyati. He sees everything in Krishna, Krishna in everything. Like Stavara Jangama Deke Na Deke Taramurti Sarvatra Deke Nija Ishta Deva Spurti. He doesn't see moving, non-moving things of your devotee. He sees Krishna everywhere. He sees a tree, he sees, oh, it's energy of Krishna. He sees sun and moon, he sees, oh, that's the eyes of Krishna. He drinks water, he knows the taste of water is Krishna. That's how a pure devotee is. Okay, so yogi is turning to a pure devotee. How a Krishna conscious person fulfills the vision of a perfect yogi? A Krishna conscious person certainly sees Lord Krishna everywhere, and he sees everything in Krishna. This is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. Nothing can exist without Krishna, and Krishna is the Lord of everything. Lord. Ishavasimitam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tektena bujida magrida kashyasviddaram. Ishavasimitam sarvam. Krishna is the controller, or he's a proprietor, owner, okay, of everything. Krishna consciousness is the development of love for Krishna. Prema janachidita bhakti vilojanena sanda sadaiva hriti yeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. That means if we put ointment of love in our eyes, then we'll be able to see Krishna. It is the position transcendently even to material liberation, and an intimate relationship between the Lord and the devotee definitely exists. Right? In that stage, the living entity can never be annihilated, not the Supreme Personality Godhead ever out of the sight of a devotee. To merge in Krishna in spiritual annihilation, a devotee never takes such a risk. This is like Sayuja Mukti by a demon, to merge into the Lord. A devotee becomes one with Krishna in the sense, Krishna becomes everything for the devotee, and devotee becomes full in love of Krishna. He sees Krishna everywhere. Okay, that's becoming of oneness. In quality, he becomes one with the Lord, not in quantity. and he cannot live a moment without seeing the Lord within himself. Like the fish out of water. The fish can't live in a moment without water. He always wants water. Sarvabhutasthitham yo mam bhajati ekatvam sarvada vartmano apisa yogi mai vartate. Such a yogi who engages in the worshipful service of the Supersoul, knowing that I am the Supersoul are one, remain always in me in all circumstances. And 32 says, Atma pamyena sarvatra samapashyati yo arjuna sugamba yadi va dukham sayogi paramo mataha. He is perfect yogi who by comparison to his own self sees true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress. So how a yogi sees the Supersoul? One sees within himself the plenary portion of Krishna, that's Vishnu, the four-handed one, this Paramatma, no, with conch shells, wheel, club, and lotus flower. Okay, so what does Krishna use this conch shell and lotus for? And for what he used the wheel and the gada? I've unmuted everyone.
Mataji, he uses the chakra, the Sudarshan chakra, to protect the devotees. The lotus flower represents mercy, and the conch shell represents knowledge, and the club represents strength.
Yeah, but chakra is mainly for what, Lakshmi Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, chakra is used for protecting the devotees, and conch shell is like a
No, protecting the devotees, but then more than that, to kill the demons. It is used to kill the demon. Protecting is for the club and the lotus. Club and the lotus, it saves. It is for the devotees, because with the club, he protected from Hiranyaksha, right? And the lotus. No, conch shell, sorry, conch shell. He blessed Dhruva Maharaj on his head with the conch shell. And lotus flower, Gajendra gave a lotus flower to the Lord. So conch shell and lotus flower indicates to protect the devotees. Wheel and the club is for killing the demons. Wheel he used to kill Shishupal, and club for Hiranyaksha, right? So more than, yeah, it is for protection, definitely. When Durvasa Muni came, when Ambarish Maharaj story, we know the wheel went. But basically, it includes that. So Krishna's conch shell is known as what? Put in the chat. What is Krishna's conch shell's name? What is the name of the Krishna's conch shell? Yes, we studied in the first chapter. Yes, good. No, Manasvi, because you're co-host, you can type to everyone, but don't put to everyone. Put it to the host. Otherwise, everyone will see everyone's message. I put it to the host. Okay. Oh, the chat is closed. Okay. It's just to host and just host. Yeah. Panchajanya. Yeah. Panchajanya Rishikesha. Devadatta Dhananjaya. What about the chakra of Krishna is called as what? Chakra. The wheel of Krishna is called as the wheel. Sudarshan. Very good. So Sudarshan chakra. That's okay. So Sudarshan chakra. What about the club? The club of Krishna is known as? Yeah, Lakshmi Mataji, correct. I don't think everyone knows it. Yeah, Lakshmi Mataji, you can say what it is. The club of Krishna is called as?
Komodiki.
Yeah, Komodiki. Okay, the club. Good, okay. So that's the form of the Lord in our heart as Paramatma. The yogi should know. The yogi should know that Vishnu is not different from Krishna, who is present as super soul in everyone's heart. There is no difference between the innumerable super souls present in the innumerable heart of the living entity. There is no difference between a Krishna conscious person engaged in transcendental service of Krishna and a perfect yogi engaged in meditation of the super soul. Yoga in Krishna consciousness is that even though he may be engaged in various activities in the material world, he always remains situated in Krishna. So this is called the Pandita Samadharsh, the liberated soul. Ihayasya harirtasi karmana manasa gira nikilesha pi avasteshu jivan muktasa uchyate. A devotee of the Lord is always acting in Krishna consciousness, is automatically liberated. He is always liberated. Even though he is in the material world, material body, still he is considered liberated. Why? Like a dry coconut. A dry coconut is in the shell, within the shell, but still it's not attached to the shell. So like that's called liberation. Not only after death there is liberation, even in this life there is liberation. Okay, also it is said, by concentrating one's attention to the transcendental form of Krishna, who is all pervading beyond time and space, one becomes absorbed in thinking of Krishna and attains the happy state of transcendental association with him. So Krishna consciousness is the highest stage of trance in yoga practice. To understand that Krishna is present as Paramatma in everyone's heart and Vishnu is not different from Krishna, that makes yogi faultless. Although the Lord is one, he is present in innumerable heart as many. It's the inconceivable potency of the Lord. When Narad Muni went to Dwaraka, what did he see? Krishna is there in 16,108 palaces, right? That is the inconceivable potency of the Lord. In spite of his one form, he is present everywhere as the sun appears in many places at once. So all of you fill the attendance form. 32 says, Atmapannena sarvatra samam pashyadiyo Arjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo madaha. Okay, so a Krishna conscious person is a perfect yogi because he's aware of the real cause of happiness and distress by dint of his personal experience. And the cause of distress is because we are forgetting Krishna, relationship with Krishna. Krishna Budiya Jeev Bhagavad Kare. That's the cause of our distress. And cause of happiness is knowing Krishna to be the supreme enjoyer, the supreme proprietor, and the sincere friend. A Krishna conscious person is the best philanthropist and dearest servant of the Lord because he tries to broadcast the importance of Krishna consciousness. Nachat tasman manisheshu kashin me priyakritamaha pavita nacha me tasman anya priya tarotvi. He's the best yogi because he does not desire perfection in yoga for his personal benefit, but tries for others also. This differentiates a pure devotee from a yogi only interested in personal salvation. Okay, so necessity of controlling the mind. Till after hearing the various description of Ashtanga Yoga, Arjuna analyzes the inability to follow the process. And so Arjuna rejects the Ashtanga Yoga. And Arjuna was a thoroughly qualified person. He's high parentage. And still he says in people of Kali Yuga could not practice this. Because we are less qualified in so many ways. Right? In Kali Yuga, the suitable practice to control the mind is by chanting the holy name, doing devotional service. Then there is detachment happens. Right? So Arjuna rejects Ashtanga Yoga practice and he says it's not possible in this yoga. Arjuna uvaja yo ayam yogasvaye prokta samyena madhusudana etashyaham na pashyami chanchalatvastitam stiram. So he says that it's not easy to do this. So Arjuna rejects what to talk of modern man. In Kali Yuga, what happens? Prayena alpaisa sapya kala usmin yogejana manda sumanda madiyo manda badi ubadrita. Bitter struggle for life of short duration and people are not serious about self-realization, right? I want to speak of the difficult yoga system. It's not easy in this Kali Yuga because there's short life and we are less intelligent, less fortunate, right? So it's not easy to do Ashtanga Yoga in Kali Yuga. And the super excellent abilities of Arjuna is he belongs to the royal family, he's a great warrior, and he has a great longevity. And above all, he was an intimate friend of Lord Krishna. And he is saying it's not easy. What about us? So the modern imitation of yoga schools, now what are they doing? They are ignorant of the goal of yoga. So what does Arjuna say about the mind? Chanjalam Himana Krishna Pramadi Balavatritam Dasyaham Nigraham Mani Vayu Rivasutushkaram. Right? It's very difficult to control the mind. For the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate and very strong of Krishna, and to subdue it, I think it's more difficult than controlling the wind. So mind is restless and turbulent like a wind. And for a man in the practical world, we have to fight so many opposing elements. Very difficult to control the mind. All of you agree, right? Artificially, one may establish a mental equilibrium between friends and enemies. But ultimately, no worldly man can do so. But this is more difficult than controlling the raging wind. Mind is so strong and obstinate, and intelligence is supposed to direct the mind. But the mind often overcomes one's own intelligence. Yes, Mataji? What happened? Hemu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. As you are telling about mind, the question is that when we are chanting, the mind goes here and there, and when you are not chanting, the mind is going in chanting. So nothing is perfect.
Yeah.
While I'm chanting, I'll think about everything. While I'm not chanting, I'll think of chanting and doing chanting. So how to come out of this dual boat?
Yeah, so the mind is so tricky in that way. No, when you sit to chant, so many thoughts will come. Yes, that's because the mind is very chanchala. I mean, it's very restless. And so, what you should do is, till we didn't develop that ruchi, or we didn't reach to that bhava stage, and we are chanting nama aparat stage. We're not in shuddhanam yet, right? So when we chant, mind going good, you could analyze that your mind is going. No, that's a nice progress. That's advancing. That you're able to understand. Oh, my mind is going here and there. Some people don't even realize that. Oh, I did lice japa. They don't even realize that our mind is going. If your mind doesn't go, that's a problem, Mataji. If your mind is going, that is good, because the mind has to go like that. So the mind is like a monkey, keeps jumping. Now, what do you do? Bring back the mind. For that, loud japa is important, not soft. So that the vibration is there and the mind is forced to come back. So the more the mind goes, the more you try to bring it back, bring it back. Every time you try to bring it back, forced to hear the mantra, and then again it goes, again it brings back. Keep doing this. At one stage, the mind will stop going from you. No, so mind is always like, and then empty mind is devil's workshop. So it keeps hankering about. But then mind is able to think about chanting. That's a good sign, because it start getting that higher taste. Paramdarshwani Vartande. So it happens, but to improve the quality of japa, the only thing is, when you keep chanting in the beats, on the left hand, you keep counting the mantras you hear. Like, don't think like, oh, all the 16 rounds I'm going to hear today. No, it will never happen. Or one whole round I'm going to hear. No, I'm going to hear one mantra at a time. So you start Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Okay, I heard the mantra. Next mantra I'm going to hear. So you make your mind think that, oh, I'm going to hear this mantra, this mantra. So on the left hand, when you chant on the right hand, left hand, you keep counting how many mantras you heard in one round. It might be 4 or 5, might be more. But again, your mind will go somewhere. Oh, what am I doing? Come back. And then again chant. That way, keep doing it. Your quality of japa increases. You can concentrate. But then, yes, it's difficult. But abhyasa, Krishna says in the next sloka, abhyasa yogete, how much you practice and practice, it will come. So the example given is, an acute infection may surpass the efficacy of medicine. Similarly, a strong mind may overcome one's own intelligence. So, you know this example, right? All of you, like the body is compared to the chariot, the senses are the horses, the mind is the driving instrument, and intelligence is the driver, and the soul is a passenger. So, easiest way to control the mind is to chant Hare Krishna, as suggested by Lord Chaitanya, Trinatati Sunichana, Tarorapi Sakshna, Mani Namana, Kirtaniya, Sadahari. And as Ambarish Maharaj did, Savai Mana Krishna Padaravi. So, Krishna gives the solution in the 35th sloka. Sri Bhagavan Vaja, Asamshayam Mahabahu, Manodurnigraham Chalam, Abhyasena to Kaundeya, Vairagena Chagrihyate, Abhyasena to Kaundeya. He says practice. Lord Krishna said, "O mighty son of Kunti, it's undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it's possible by suitable practice and by detachment." Practice. Okay. So what you do, start practicing. Okay, so start practicing, keep practicing, it will happen. So practice is recommended in the modern age, the 9 types of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and all that. First is hearing. Hearing, that's what, when you start chanting, you have to hear the mantra. The mind will go, but then try to bring back the mind, try to hear it, try to hear each mantras. And you keep doing this, no? At one day, you'll start hearing the whole mantras, all the 16,108. Prabhupada said that. It took 3 years for Prabhupada to hear all the mantras, but then it'll take more time for us. That's okay. Now we keep struggling in the chanting than struggling in other mother's womb again and again. So try to hear the mantra. So the first and foremost is hearing or Shravanam. Hearing is a powerful method to purging in the mind of all misgivings. And effect of hearing is, the more one hears, the more one become enlightened and detached from everything that draws the mind away from Krishna. So the first is hearing that mantra. And detachment keeps coming by detaching the mind from activities non-devoted to Lord and getting attached to devotional activities. We can easily learn Vairagya. So impersonal situation is detachment is more difficult than changing the mind to the activities of Krishna. So Parishanubhava, that means spiritual satisfaction is achieved by positive attachment of service. It's practical because by hearing about Krishna, one becomes automatically attached to the Supreme Spirit. Like Rukmini, just about hearing about Krishna, she got attached, right? So hungry man is satisfied with the food he eats. When you eat, what happens? You feel satisfied, you feel happy, you get nourished. Similarly, when you do devotional service, you feel happy and you get spiritual nourishment, right? And there's no satiation. Always you can get more and more. So devotional service is compared to curing a disease by a process called Krishna consciousness. So what is the treatment for the mad mind? Hear the transcendental activities of the Lord and eat Krishna Prasad. If you do these two things, the mind gets completely captured or controlled. So we'll have 10 minutes breakout room. This sloka 6.35 discuss the significance of Krishna's statement Abhyasena tu kaunteya. That's the statement. Okay, Abhyasena tu kaunteya. Go to the word-to-word translation and see the meaning. Abhyasena tu kaunteya. This is a practice and for personal and preaching application. And you have to refer to the analogies mentioned in the purport. You got the question? Okay, so 6.35. You should understand why Krishna used the term Abhyasena tu kaunteya and how will you apply it in your personal and preaching application. Okay. Okay, so room number 2 is not back yet. And 3 is also not come. 1 and 2. No, room number 1 have not come. Okay. We'll wait for them and then we'll discuss. Okay. So room number 1 came just now. So let's discuss with room number 3. Okay, I'll unmute everyone. So who's speaking from room number 3 about Abhyasena to Kaunteya? Yes. Yes, Jyoti Mataji, you can unmute.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandapranam, Hare Krishna to all. Mataji, Abhyaseni Kaunteya, it means that Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that, oh son of Kunti, it's only by practice one can curb, it's only by practice that one can curb the restless mind. Now,
Yes.
how you are going to curb the restless mind? Because mind is like a mad monkey, and so to curb the restless mind, you have to practice enchanting and hearing what you are enchanting. So when you are hearing what you are enchanting, your mind, it gets controlled, it gets detached from material objects, and it gets attached to Krishna. And this Vairagya state is attained, and this condition is called Paresanubhava. And
Yes.
Analogies, the two analogies are given, like just as how a hungry man with eating each morsel of food, he gets satisfaction. Similarly, when you are hearing the enchanting done, hearing the transcendental sound, then your mind gets you get satisfaction. Your mind becomes calm and attached to the lotus feet of the Lord. And another example that is given, and another way to curb the restless mind, is to offer the food to the Lord and then eat it when it becomes the prasadam. By that also, your mind gets detached from the material objects. And an analogy is given, like for a diseased person, then we give the appropriate food, the person gets cured. So the prasadam is a cure to detach you from the material objects and attach you to the Lord.
Yes.
And control the restless mind.
Very nice. Okay.
And then
So,
it is also mentioned, Mataji, that in the current scenario, in the age of Kali, that it's not possible for a person to go to a secluded place, be isolated, and try to control the senses and the mind, and practice all those focusing on the super soul and all that. So this is the easiest way to curb your restless mind.
yes.
9 types of devotional service.
Yes, very nice. Okay. So room number 2. Who's speaking? Yes,
Madhija, I'll be speaking from room number 2. So we actually discussed that only through spiritual practices, namely Bhakti Yoga in the age of Kali, we can control the mind by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and also in the association of devotees and under the guidance of the spiritual master. So personally, what I do is that I take the association of devotees because it inspires me to chant the Mahamantra properly with full concentration. Be the Bhakti Shastri and the Sadachara class, it helps me understand the concepts of Bhakti Yoga properly and how to approach and the right way to approach Krishna. So as Lakshmi, as Jyoti Mataji said, that as a diseased person requires medicine to cure himself. Similarly, the Mahamantra is a medicine to cure ourselves in this age of Kali, because the mind is very turbulent and restless. It cannot stay in one place, so we should chant the Mahamantra daily in the association of devotees. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna. So room number 1.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Yes, we are here. Here we are talking about the mind which is flickering
and while needs to be controlled. As Krishna suggests, it's possible only through one's practices. Yes. And for that, he gives the analogy of a hungry man. If he's like the spiritually satisfaction is like feeling of a satisfaction a hungry man has from every morsel he eats. Yes, the strength and the fullness which he gets. And then there are many modes how we can follow our like for the rasas to be, that is through hearing. Yes, we can give example of Rukmini ji, who was very much attracted to Krishna, and she even wrote to him to be kidnapped so that she would marry him, because on hearing, this is one of the way, like even for chanting, if we hear ourselves chanting, then we can know that how far we have become a devotee. And then even the rasa which we get by hearing, coming to the class, Mataji, like we all get attracted to the class and we come more to listen, because this is the first class way of achieving whatever rust we are getting. It's from your class we are getting, so we are more attracted to it and we come more for it. So the best way is getting the associations of the devotees.
Okay. Yeah. So obviously, yeah. Only thing is, I felt like from Regina Mataji was talking about her personal. I think even that was asked, right? The personal application and preaching. So yes, so all of you have done everything and you have spoken. It would be nice if you put it like in my way, or high. In my personal experience, or in my way practice of devotional service, and something like that. You have to put it like my, because it's personal. And preaching application, yes, whatever you say, we the term used, that's for preaching. But then when personal application is asked, even for your exam, like open book and all, sometimes the personal application, you have to write like, I, in my devotional service or in my practice, this is what I am doing to be to practice like that. Okay. Yeah, Sumit Prabhu, the six things that should be avoided. Yeah, the Atyahara Prayasascha, yes, definitely. So even that will help us, like Atyahara Prayasascha, Prajalpaniya Magraha, Jana Sankarsha.
Yes, yes, there was one point I forgot, Mataji. It was about the classroom, which even when we are attending the class, we are forgetting even the past class, which lessons we have just done, that also we forget because of a flickering mind. So we have a reckless mind and we need more and more practice, which we are noting down and following it. So this is it's applicable to all of us.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So next week I'll finish chapter 6, and after that, as I told you, we'll have our closed book exam. Okay, we'll see. We'll give you time to study also, and then we'll keep like around 10th or 11th. I think 4th we'll finish. And next week we'll finish 6th chapter, and then we'll, if you need, okay, you can take 1 week time to study, or else let me discuss with other group also. We'll be like keeping exam together for everyone. Okay.
Questions will be predefined, or it will be
so it's in the handbook, no? Not handbook. You have a question bank. We shared a question bank. So same, the questions will be asked from the question bank only, the closed book questions, all the closed book questions. Just go through them. Like 10 questions, there'll be like 8 to answer. Short questions. Yes, Manasvi?
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, in the closed book exam, we have to write the answers in the Word document or on our writing on the paper.
Yeah, so it is handwritten. So it's handwritten for all. Okay, then you can upload the link. Okay. Any questions?
Mataji, sloka recitation will be on the same day or later on. And one more thing, all the slokas we have to recite, or 3 or 4?
No, for unit 1, I have given the concession, like you can learn any 3. But then, next unit onwards, it's going to be a little tough. You have to learn all the slokas. But unit 1, it's like little easy for all, because not everyone is good at slokas. They find it very difficult. So any 3 slokas which can be recited. Yes, Lakshmi Mataji. Prabhu, it might be on the same day, because 1 hour test and then 1 hour we can have sloka.
Okay, Mataji. Perfect. Thank you.
What will be the words, Mataji? How long should it be? Is there any the answers should be short and
Yeah,
sweet,
so
or
short, 3-4 lines. That's it. 5 marks.
all right. Thank you, sir.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
It's regarding